Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine carries all the gear you'll need, from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle, bait, and more. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new motor and the best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine has certified technicians, some of the best in the industry at evaluating your boat issues and any problems. Defiance Marine has boat financing experts on staff to help you get the best term and rates on your new boat purchase. If you need financing for a new boat, call or stop by and see them today. Defiance Marine is your one and only stop to help you get out on the water.
Cutbacks in funding and fewer law enforcement resources are affecting our businesses and communities. If your business is feeling the effects, Phoenix Protective may be the solution you are looking for. They offer security solutions customized to meet your needs. From remote video monitoring in their 24-hour control center to a proactive, experienced security professional on site, Phoenix Protective has over 20 years experience in ensuring the safety of their customers. Team members are highly trained and proactive, giving them the ability to adjust to the changing needs of their customers. Customers choose to work with Phoenix Protective because they provide the next level in security support to industries such as schools, hospitals, transit, and utilities. For a security assessment to see how Phoenix Protective can help you and your business, visit their website at www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and select Contact.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
We've got a ballistic solution app on my...
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy.
We're going to do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Welcome to Fish on Northwest. We are coming to you live from the shores of Summit Lake. Yes, that's right. Dwayne England, Bill Herzog, you are back.
I am.
Tommy is on leave. Tommy's got a few things going on. We're waiting for that baby announcement. A couple things happening today, I believe. So stay tuned. You never know. We could get the text message during the show. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you were available.
I'm available because, hey man, you live right next to ground zero for summer run fishing.
There's some opportunity, yes. There's some opportunity around the corner from here, that is for sure, and we're trying to take full advantage of that. Not today exactly.
It's a little moist today for my liking.
For your liking. I don't know where you folks are all tuning in from, or if you dared getting out today, or if you have rain, but we can definitely rest assured we've had rain pretty much all day here in the Olympia area, and let me tell you, it's getting to the point of concern.
Well, look at my outfit. I'm wearing a toque tonight because for all rights and purposes, it's wintertime outside, and so is our fishing conditions. It was wintertime.
It was Mayvember last month. It's now Junevember, and it is chilly. January. It's January, and it is. Oh, it's 95 here. Blake Manning says down in California.
Isn't that nice?
Hopefully you're hanging in there. Sounds rough. We are we're getting doused with a little bit of an atmospheric river, which is typically what we hear sometime about mid-November, sometimes in December. Periodically, we'll get that forecast in January. Here we are, almost mid-June, Bill, and water like I don't ever remember.
Well, normally we're praying for rain right now. If you're a river fisherman or a spring Chinook fisherman, steelhead fisherman, whatever you want, what I would give for just a little bit of rain. We're all going like, all right, hold them up, stop, we're good, hold them up. It's been ridiculous. It really has.
Well, here we are, as I mentioned, almost mid-June. This time last year, we were setting records, not for rainfall, for excessive heat.
We had that heat dome going.
We were like 112 degrees here.
Well, you guys are nice and cool.
Yeah, it was like air conditioning here compared to you on the east side.
We had 126 degrees.
You know, it's 60 degrees today. We're almost 60 degrees in difference from a year ago, and we have precipitation that we have not seen. I mean, this is darn near biblical, although, you know, I'm not worried. We got boats, so we'll be fine.
But if you look at the historical rain levels and how much we get, it's just never happened before. We've had wet Junes before, but not to this level where it just keeps happening and happening.
Jim Hansen says 80 here in Idaho, rain's coming tonight. Yep, you're getting this stuff that'll come right over the mountains and actually sprinkle down on you for a bit there, Jim. But I'm telling you, we're on the forefront of it. It comes in off the ocean here, and we are getting hammered. We are inch to 2 inches throughout this region over the next 48 hours. And it's, again, I just not used to this type of conditions. So we're going to get into it a little bit later when we're talking steelhead fishing and what we had last week, what we had yesterday, what we have going on right now, what it's going to do as we work our way through this weekend and into next week. And hopefully, eventually, we're going to be on that downhill trend, and we get to those water levels we're accustomed to, and you know, it really then is like, this does feel like summer steelhead fishing.
The good news is, remember that winter gear we didn't get to use last year?
Yeah.
We get to use it now.
We're pulling it out right now. So, hey, before we get too far along here, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't, please take some time, jump on over to www.fishhuntnw.com, our webpage, check out what we got going on there, lots of blogs. All our social media platforms can be linked from our webpage, and also take some time, you should be able to click right on front and center, FHN20 coupon. That is the Edge rods. 20% off all rods all the time, unless they have another special or bargain attached to them. Other than that, every rod you order that doesn't have a previous coupon or code, you attach FHN20 at checkout, you're going to save 20%. And those kokanee rods we've been fishing for plug rods, for those steelhead, get 20% off of those. Get a couple of them. You're going to save, you know, a pretty good amount of money to put a few of those in your boat. So. Yeah, and oh, by the way, you can use them for kokanee fishing too, in case you didn't pick up on what I'm throwing down here.
I'm shoveling it, man.
Yeah. So lots of good options there. They make a rod pretty much for every fishery you want to take on. So with that, Bill.
Yes.
Let's kind of get to what has been happening and what's going on. You know, we've had some openings, we've had some closures,
almost in the same day.
Yeah, pretty much. The emails from WDFW are flying off the shelf. A lot of it in the good column. There's very little in the bad column when it comes to closures and, you know, things that we can't go do right now. Had another shrimp opener today, Hood Canal, and then of course Area 9 was open for shrimp this morning. Not sure what the participation factor was with the weather forecast. And what is happening, but I just did not have time to run up to Area 9 and get back here in time for the show. So I, you know, and test new rain gear. So I know Buddy Matt Messing was probably out getting it done, and a handful of other folks. So there's that to look forward to. But you know, we had a pretty unique situation with how the seasonal fishery opportunities came out of north of Falcon this past year. And one in particular is Area 11. They split it into two parts. We're going to have this June opportunity, and then it was going to, if it's sustained all the way through June, then it would roll right into July, open July 1, and just continue through September. Well, we had a quota-based fishery initiated June 1st. And with that, we had certain numbers we had to stay within, and unfortunately they announced here the other day temporary pause, if you will, for salmon fishing south central Puget Sound Marine Area 11. The closure went into effect Friday, June 3rd. It was literally open for 72 hours, thereabouts, right? Yeah. They said the estimates from catching, sampling, creel surveys indicate the fishery, which performed very well since the opener, those, again, 3 days, approached the harvest quota and had exceeded the unmarked Chinook encounters. And that's really the one they monitor closely, is the unmarked Chinook encounters, and of course your sublegal population. High encounter rate with that is cause for concern. So the first half of the season was scheduled to be open roughly through June 30th, which we had already kind of mentioned. Quota of 580 hatchery marked Chinook. The total encounter limit was only 432 wild fish. and 752 sublegals. But we ran up against that 432 wild component, shut it down, basically 72 hours. They said, you guys have already encountered too many wild fish, we got to shut it down.
Well, we're paying for good fishing right there, right? Being punished for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And so you got to, my friend Mike, he fishes there every single day.
Yeah.
Right? He keeps his boat down at Narrows. He's out there. He says there's 50 boats off Gibson.
He knows what's going on.
He sees all the, it was really a popular, well-attended fishery.
A lot of participation.
Because fishing was good.
Right.
Right? And when it's good, this is what happens. The catch per unit effort was like 3 times higher than normal. And this means, yay, we got a lot of salmon. Yay, the killer whales are going to be eating good. Yay, we're catching fish. But
all those things.
All those things are good, but...
Yep. So the Area 11 fishery will reopen July 1st, as was scheduled for the summer fishery. Anticipated to be open until September 30th. Again, this is going to be a quota-based fishery, as all of them are. So they have numbers they're going to pay attention to. Second half of the season, we have 2,800 plus just a few hatchery marked Chinook to go after, and sublegal encounter will be 3,373 fish. So numbers significantly increased when we get to that true recognized summer fishery starting July 1st. Unfortunately, for right now, Marine Area 11 is closed. Area 10 will open here before too long, though. Sure. Mid-June, we get resident coho fishery opens up, and of course, Area 13 is still open and producing a few fish for some folks that are getting out there and getting it done.
It is, but the problem is, again, when fisheries are this popular and this good, you got all these guys who know how good 11 was. Well, those fish are only going to go south. Well, below the bridge. And what's been going on down there too, down south, has been just a gong show because so many people are piled into the few areas where there's fish. And again, I got my spies down there. My friends are fishing down there. And they say fishing has been good with that kind of pressure. Chinook are very pressure-sensitive creatures, and a lot of them have been caught and with all those lines in the water and all the people pounding on them, of course, the success rate has went down, but it's still not bad and pretty good fishing.
Well, one thing that's happening in Area 13 too is we're getting reports of an abundance of bait in certain areas. We got a lot more bait flushing in. The past couple of years, we've actually seen a pretty good influx of anchovy into that area. And to talk to persons in the know, like David Trout with the Nisqually Tribe, he says, the washing of all these anchovies is fantastic for steelhead smolt survivability, because what happens is the seals tend to now go to those bay areas where those anchovy get up into the shallows for spawning, and it draws the seals over there, and that's all their attention's drawn there. And those steelhead kind of migrate out of that lower basin, out of the Nisqually, and they kind of get on out there. They've seen much higher, survivability of those smolt releasing. So there's goods and bads mixed in there. So, spring Chinook too, on the mind of many, still very strong and happening. We got some good stuff going on. More days added on the Columbia River, plus Chinook limits increased. I'm
amazed. 192,900 fish. What did they say at the beginning of the year? About 100,000?
122. 122.
We got 70,000 more salmon and kings. That is way up from the preseason forecast, and we're getting rewarded for it, though.
Yeah. Two fish in a lot of areas.
Yeah, we do, And here's the coolest part. The Kalama, where you and I may or may not have been.
We may have been there once or twice this year.
That's still going strong, okay?
Very good.
We got places like the Nooksack. Who would ever think you'd fish the Nooksack River?
You don't say spring Chinook and Nooksack River in the same sentence anymore. No. You do in 2022.
Well, you say a lot of things in 2022, but and the Wind River, which has been perpetually closed, hem and haw, back and forth, that's happening too. And there's a certain river up on the coast right now. I'm not going to say its name, but it had been one of the best spring Chinook years in history.
You know what else is exciting?
And rained, and the fishing has been amazing. This rain has been good for that.
The size of the fish, the quality of the fish, the fatness, the girthiness of these fish is just, they're so healthy, right?
Yes, they are.
Very healthy, and that would also, kind of tie in with these amazing returns we're seeing on some levels. Ocean conditions, we've talked about it the last couple of years. We've had a turn in the conditions, cooler waters, better upwelling, forage fish are back, so nutrient base is strong. To find these constant updates, if you're struggling to keep track of what's going on, the easiest way is simply go to WDFW online, just wdfw.org, and click on the news tabs. That news tab will actually load in all these announcements, all these news bullet announcements. It couldn't be easier. You don't have to go hunting, pecking, freshwater, saltwater, whatever. If it's happening and it's a change, if you don't want to go to emergency, regulation change, opening or closing, if you go to news, they pretty much list a lot of those, if not most of them, right in that news tab. Pretty easy to find and navigate. Simply go to news tabs. 2 additional sturgeon days added as well. Yesterday, the 8th, of course, you still got the 11th. Lower Columbia sturgeon fishing, keeper sturgeon fishing has been fantastic. I know a number of guys, it's just been lights out. They're getting their clients into great numbers of fish. Seems to be an abundance of keeper size, which is really good to see. And then additionally, the summer Chinook season expected to run June 16th through the 22nd from the Astoria Megler Bridge all the way up to Bonneville. There's an opportunity there for those summer Chinook coming in early. I mean, we get that. This is 16th through the 22nd. Doesn't sound like much, but we haven't gotten that. That hasn't been on the table here for a bit. So pretty awesome to see these fisheries bouncing back and the fish being so healthy and the runs being so robust. So pretty exciting stuff. Lots of opportunities. Speaking of which, we have more. Bill, do I dare say? More halibut days. Tommy and I talked about this last week.
Wow.
Talked about this weather. If you're confused about it, just simply look outside right now. But the weather in May and as we got into June here, but early May, end of April, just horrible. So many days no-go on the ocean for opportunity.
But the happy part about that is
fishing for halibut in t-shirt weather.
Oh, it could be that too. And you get more season.
Absolutely. We got days extended. The coastal additional June dates, Marine Area 1, the 13th and the 20th, Marine Area 2. And we'll get into this later with one of our guests coming on. June 28th and 30th. I mean, we're going to fish halibut right up in the end of June, probably get some decent weather. If we don't have a big swell and a wind wave and all that going on collectively, we got some decent days out there in t-shirts, man. We got multiple days added to Marines Area 3 and 4. Based on this weather that we've been up against, it is extending our season. The last couple of years, because of COVID, we had lack of effort and opportunity.
Sure.
Those seasons extended because it's quota-based all the way into August. People had to decide.
Are you talking about Washington now?
Yeah, we got to go after tuna. Well, they're still not around, so let's go halibut. Let's double down. Let's get some salmon too. I mean, we're talking about fisheries that, when they start piling on top of each other, that's kind of like what we used to do back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, we were confused.
Fish was so good.
We were frozen with indecision sometimes.
Absolutely.
What do we do this weekend? There's what do we do?
Yeah.
But isn't that nice having a choice? I do love it.
Yeah, Carl says the commercial trawlers are killing in Area 2 right now and off the coast. Yeah, I've kind of heard that same report as well. Puget Sound halibut season 2. We got some great opportunity coming up with the extended days.
We got the 3rd and 12th. Area 5 is going to open June 3rd. And that was what? Yesterday? 2 days ago? What day is this?
It's in the 9th, but you're close.
I'm close within a week. Yeah, we got but 12 days.
Yeah.
Hello. Marine areas 6 through 10. Also open to June 3rd. 12 days as well. Yeah, as long as we got fish, we're going to keep fishing. And 12, and we got areas 11, 12, 13 are closed to halibut. But I have seen a picture one time of a guy holding a halibut by the Narrows Bridge, which is pretty cool. I didn't think they even got down that far.
No kidding.
But we can't mess with them because the rockfish. We can't target them.
Yeah. Well, plenty of opportunity coming up, and guys are chiming in. Hey, want to say hi to everybody chiming in here this evening. Lots of stuff. We call it swag, guys. yes, it is. Always a swag, and but a lot of good comments on here. People are excited about fishing. We get halibut days. We got salmon days. Things are coming up. All right, running down the show. We got a little technical glitch going on over there. No big deal. We'll just storm right through it. So
no thing.
I can't do anything right now.
Oh, okay. Well, running down the show. Here we go. Back on the river. Herzog, you and I, my man, we were having a day.
Yeah, I'm not doing this because it was good fishing. My hands are freezing.
Oh, okay. Still cold in here.
It's cold out here.
We got out. We got out last week after we did the show Thursday. We got out Friday. We're going to talk about that a bit. We also got out yesterday. So we've been on the river chasing some Run Steelhead.
Yeah.
Twice since we did the show last week. Not really polar opposite days, but condition-wise, we had
pretty close to the same.
Some pretty interesting dynamics and changes.
I've seen things that I've never seen summer run fishing this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what did we learn, right? And then of course we'll move our way through the show here. Darrell Johnson, Ocean Opportunities, Far Corners Express Sports Fishing. with a full report on lingcod and halibut and salmon, and also some tips for success. He's been getting out there, weather window opportunities, and when they have been able to get on the ocean, the fishing's been really good. The halibut and lingcod fishing's been good. Well,
we got to find out, how he's been doing, where the fishing's good, how it's been, bottom. I want to know. Yep. I want to know all about this stuff. And then, of course, we are going to have a conversation. I made a few phone calls the last few days. I want to find out what's going on up north. I mean, we got the Skykomish that is open. Oh, baby. Yeah. And summer on steelhead, and one of the earliest opportunities for in-river Chinook that is not a Columbia tributary. Right, we're talking June and early fall fish. We got the Chinook opportunity on the Skykomish, and both in regards to steelhead and Chinook. That's things have kind of switched a bit. There's some things happening with the steelhead production and what they're doing, and there's some things happening with the Chinook and production and what they're doing. And we thought you guys would like to hear all about that. Then we're gonna close out the show. We got some hot topics to cover. Got some announcements of some events that are coming up, and of course, we got our FHN Max lure and Pautzke prize bucket there with all kinds of stuff. Well over $100 worth of stuff in that swag bucket there. So lots of gear, lots of things going on. And that's pretty much what's happening with the show. So, are we not able to jump out for a commercial?
Give it like 1 minute.
Give you 1 minute? Okay. We're rebooting. So, Bill, we will talk just a brief bit about this weather as we compare our steelhead outing. So last Friday, we fished a river that basically, it was almost double of what the normal annual mean for this time of year would be. And then we went yesterday, and it was double of what we fished the week before, right? So it is almost 4 times more than it normally is. Last week it was twice as much. So, I kind of looked at that as we were starting our morning out going, usually for summer on steelhead, you're picking pockets. Right? Yeah, and you're hitting riffles. Yeah. Top ends of holes. Right. Any deep spot, any deep greens. Yep. But this, no. You're gonna no. What's interesting is we're fishing levels that are they would be ideal for wintertime. Yeah. You'd be like, oh my God, if this was March, yeah, 100%. So we're kind of like getting March anyway. Right now. Yeah. We didn't get it, but we're kind of getting there. But so the water in it, it's everywhere. Yeah. Talking to those guys up north, Skykomish is just raging, and they're having to change up their approach and kind of where you're finding fish, right? Yeah. It's like in the wintertime when we get high water, it's going to push those fish to the edges. The soft edges, inside curls, they're going to tuck where they have path of least resistance. Now in the summertime, when we have normal flows, as you just mentioned, them things are in the buckets. They're in the little pockets. So you look for that dark green. Like, there's a 3-foot pocket that runs for 20 feet. Yeah. There could be a fish laying in there. You better fish it, right? Better fish it, yeah. With what we're seeing, it gave us a lot of opportunity to present different techniques and different methods. Because we have to. When you get in this type of situation where you've got edges that are great for floats, when you can run a straight line. Right. You got these big, choppy, wide flats. I've been swinging spoons over those. Yes, you have. Cover those. For summer run. Yeah, right? Yeah. And we got the deep places where we've been running the divers and bait. Yes. And so if we stuck with one technique, you'd be stuck with fishing one type of water. And in this kind of situation where fish could literally, because of water temperature and how they're so fresh and moving, they could be literally anywhere, especially on a cloudy day. They've got cover, they've got flow. It makes our job a little bit harder, actually. I'd rather make it higher, push them right to the edge. Okay, they're on the edges. We know that, like the guys in the Skykomish. Yeah. Or later on, when it drops, they're going to be right there in that hole. Now, what side of the river do I cast to, right? And it's just it's a crapshoot. Well, at that point, for me, it comes to like you're picking pockets. It's like, okay, I'm going to be ready to go, and I'm going to drop this in. All right, we're going to save the rest of this for our conversation. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. Bill Herzog and I, we're gonna really drill down on this summer run steelhead fishery. What has been going on? What this current weather is doing to our river systems, and what we can expect. It's not good. Yes, right now. So, all right, don't go anywhere. Be back in 2 minutes right here, Fish on Northwest.
Sportco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer,
Make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
For more than 90 years, you've entrusted one brand to guide you towards living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now you can entrust affiliated Better Homes and Gardens real estate professionals to interpret your needs and help you find the home in which to live your dreams. Through every stage of your home buying or selling process, and through every stage of your life, there's Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Expect better.
Sergeant Daniel Moulter began his tour of duty on October 21st, 1996, and ended his tour on June 27th, 2020. On the authority of Constable Carlos B. Lopez of the Travis County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, badge number 504 is officially retired, and Sergeant Dale Moulter is 1042. Godspeed, Sergeant Moulter.
Honoring fallen law officers of 2021. The 2022 End of Watch Ride begins in May from Spokane, Washington. The ride across the country to honor the men and women of law enforcement who paid the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our communities will cover more than 23,000 miles. We ride to ensure that no fallen officer or their family is ever forgotten. EOW relies on sponsors and donations to cover this cost. Please consider donating to help support the families and departments of the fallen officers. You can donate by visiting our website at www.endofwatchride.com/donate. Please support the Blue.
Hi, this is Joe and Megan from Archery World. We have 4 store locations. We are at the Lacey location right now. I just want to highlight some of our camping gear. We have Mystery Ranch packs. We also have trekking poles. We have crispy boots. We have 6 Hour optics. We carry Havalon knives. We carry Garmin products as well. So it's not just archery. We want to try to make this one-stop shopping for you guys. And so if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
Hey, welcome back, Fish Out Northwest. New England Barrel Bill Herzog here in studio. So, Bill, picking up where we left off, steelhead fishing, summer run steelhead fishing, and let's talk about last week. So we approached the river. We had, just as I mentioned, just a bump above normal MENA flow, but it gave us the opportunity to, we're on a bait divers with coon shrimp, which produced very well. We hit some fish on worms on jig heads and fish on spoons. And for you, loving to throw metal, and we'll do that anytime you can, and trying to convince people that yes, you can catch summer run steelhead on spoons, on spinners, right?
Sure, yeah.
In these water conditions, because we got flow, we got just a hint of green.
Sure.
And you got a lot of area that is now accessible to cover with metal.
Well, you've got these big wide areas that all of a sudden have depth. And when you have 2 feet plus of water, these fish, again, not very tall, they're moving and they're fresh and they're moving. They're not hunkered down in holes, they're going places. And they're laying out in these big flats. There's virtually no other way to present, unless you want to present a jig 18 inches or 12 inches under a float. But then again, you're only still working one path. When they're from point A to point B, and you have literally 100 feet of area they could be in, you've got to sweep that entire area, and the flash of a spinner, the flash of a spoon is going to do that.
It's going to do that.
And it's going to go over this whole area easily.
The only other way to achieve that is like in our wintertime flows, and right now with what we saw yesterday, excuse me, even the week before, we have enough flows that some of these long stretches, not you, but other persons, you can actually bobber dog, right?
Well, absolutely.
With very lightweight, you can bobber dog. And if you have 3 sticks in the boat.
There you go. The thing is, you have to set set a wide swath right there to make it effective.
If everybody's not fishing the same line, well, ultimately, we like to spread it out from bank to boat, and then distance apart,
right.
15, 20-foot spacing, you're covering a grid. It's almost like a moving grid pattern surge, and it's just a matter of time before those baits or presentations moving through water collectively is going to bump into a fish, right?
And we have clarity, too. So you do miss the fish by 3 or 4 feet, they'll come for it.
Oh, yeah, they'll see it.
Yeah.
So yesterday, even with the flows we had, we found success. We to be honest, though, we didn't put any in the boat, but we hit a number of fish when it was actually tougher conditions yesterday than what we experienced the week before.
Well, a lot of our water we fished, when it gets higher, all of a sudden those runs suddenly become too quick.
Right,
and
too much moving water.
They blow out.
In the summertime, who would have thought, right? We're like, oh, I can't even pull divers through there. This thing is just ripping.
No, this was a wonderful spot last week with 500 less CFS, whatever it is. Now it's 1 or 2 cast on the edge, move on.
And just keep moving.
Yeah.
The other thing is you think, oh man, that looks choice. Let's park the boat here and let's go give it a go, right? Spread out. Going to throw a metal, going to throw a worm jig, going to maybe bobber dog a bait through there. And then you walk up and you stand there and you go, wow, this thing's ripping.
The water is really moving.
That thing is really moving.
And when you're moving along with the current,
it looks
in the
great.
Boat, it looks terrific.
Yeah, looks fantastic. Now we have this atmospheric river hitting us once again.
Oh man!
So
we're just getting good water, and it's such a tease.
The amount of rain that's fallen and what the rivers are doing right now, when you look at the future cast of rivers, that graph right there should be very little to no color in the dots representing each individual river or tributary, right?
Right.
A lot of those should be white dots with no color. The color graph at the bottom tells you what those colors indicate based on flow.
Right, and the darker the color, the more,
the more, oh man, we're going to be on the sidelines a couple days. When you see dots in the summertime in red, okay, look, if this is early May and we hit some warm weather and we have snow melt and we couple that with a little bit of rain,
that happens.
You're going to see some color. We're almost at the midpoint of June. Snow melt is now becoming a serious issue because we're finally there.
And we have a ton of snow coming down.
And we got all this rain hitting now. So, of course, we're going to see the graphs jump up like that. So I don't care where you are in the state right now. A lot of these rivers are going to experience a wash of water.
Oh, boy.
Some of them will get off color because it's truly the first big push. What we saw just 5 days ago where the river went up and we were just waiting for rivers to drop back down, this here today, tomorrow, and into Sunday is going to exceed what we just experienced. So what happens?
It's killing me.
Water rises, grabs all the debris and stuff off the shorelines, flushes it all into the river, lots of wood, lots of sticks.
We saw new trees.
We saw trees down yesterday.
Trees.
Yeah.
That normally you see after a storm in the wintertime.
Right. It was it was only 3,000 feet and that tree's like, I give up. So
it's like you said, probably had enough. It got hammered all winter long and it goes, that's it.
It's kind of unprecedented to be in these conditions. The nice thing is the long range forecast after this big, now look, one thing we can look at is go, well, rising water brings fish in.
Yes, sir, does.
And there has been a decent amount of fish showing up.
And that's a good thing.
Will that sustain? We like to think early and good numbers means good sized run.
Normally,
coming in.
Early always means a lot. There's no such a thing as, well, maybe they're late. There's no late.
Late they're either coming or they're not, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we can hopefully look at this and go, well, and I guess truly, the gauge on this will be this next week when these rivers drop. If you have a summer run river near you and have opportunity to get out and these rivers drop into shape and get down, you don't have to wait till it's at that mean flow of what you're accustomed to. It can be double that if you got nice green conditions.
Sure.
You're just going to fish it a little different. Your approach is going to be different.
You're still fishing in wintertime conditions.
Yes.
The calendar means nothing.
Right now.
It all depends upon what the river looks like and what's happening in the water.
Those fish are steelhead. You may be subjected to a little higher flow, but the clarity is going to come back extremely fast.
Right. We used to say, if you took a summer run steelhead that comes in August and a winter run steelhead that comes in January and dump them in the same river at the same time, they're both going to lay in the same place.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what species they are, they're going to react to certain conditions every time. They're going to react the same.
That's why you catch downriver summer run in December.
Yeah.
And you could pull that darkened, rebriding summer run out of that hole, and the very next cast you can pull a fresh winter fish right next to it.
And vice versa.
It happens. It's a creature of habit, and doesn't matter if it's hatchery or wild, they're gonna kind of navigate the same way. So I'm excited about. I'm tired of this weather.
Sure, but all up and down the coast. I got my friends and whoever from Oregon.
Yeah.
Several rivers down there are doing great.
Same thing.
Lots of summer runs. Yep. We heard good from the Skykomish, the coast. They're here.
Yeah.
You know, and this, what gets me excited is, this is not going to stop. Well, I want to see them. I want to see the Canadian rivers get them back. If the Columbia follows suit, if everything else happens now, are we going to have a good time
on the east side
in the fall?
I hear you. The other component to this that's exciting is all these out migrant smolts here in May and June.
Gone.
There's been plenty of water for high survival, man. High survival. Water is moving, which flushes them out fast. Birds can't get them.
Predators.
They should be really good numbers. High survivability. Though we all are also up against, we had some pretty significant floods in November, which wiped out a whole lot of reds. So it's going to be kind of a toss-up to see what our true survivability is and how many smolt we're flushing out. I'll be curious to get a hold of a few folks and see what their smolt traps in May actually look like. But, you know, there's a lot of good positive things happening right now, plus with these ocean conditions that we continue to talk about. Got a lot of good things going on right now for fish survivability.
Let's carry it out another month or so.
Yeah.
Let's say we don't get any more rain. Well, the good news is the ground is super saturated right now, and it never is this time of year.
Yeah.
So we're going to get more flow all through the summer than we usually ever get.
Probably.
So this means good fishing and good survivability later on than usual. It could mean end of July, August could be just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it is a La Nina. I anticipate, as I told you, summer's going to be here July 5th because it always rains on the 4th.
As usual. Yeah.
And we'll be down at Buoy 10 the latter part of August. So that, rest assured, we'll have rain by we'll have rain by August 15th. So I'm looking at a summer window, Shing, between July 5th and August 15th. Get your suntan in because after that, we're back to rain and misery. Though the fishing is going to be outstanding as we move into the fall. So can't wait.
Can't wait, man.
All right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. Appreciate everybody signing on here. You got questions for me or Bill, just go ahead and fire them off here. We'll try to answer as many as we can on the old ticker here. And lots to talk about. Darrell Johnson, we're going to get him on the phone and talk about some ocean opportunities coming up and what's been happening out there. We come back from this break right here at Fish on Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21 foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Hi, we're Joe and Megan Malico, owners of Archery World up here in Lacey.
We're a full pro shop, so we have a full pro service also. We have a huge indoor range. We carry 11 bow lines, all the major bow lines, and then there's subsidiary companies too. Like if we carry Bowtech, we carry Diamond. If we carry Matthews, we carry Mission.
When you come in, we're going to ask you, what kind of price point you're looking for. What's your hope, what's your goals with your bow, and with that information in mind, we'll point you in the direction of, that price point bows, and then maybe give you the option to test fire, maybe a higher level bow, just so you can compare. But it really is all about getting what it is that's going to work for you. We don't upsell anyone. They shoot it, they like it, they don't like it, they don't get it. We don't operate like that. So if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. New England Bill Herzog in studio, help me out. By the way, I don't know if I thanked you for helping me out tonight in Tommy's absence. So
absolutely my pleasure.
You're here, man. Yeah, you're over here fishing. You might as well hang out and do the show. Hey, I want to welcome to the show Fishery's What You Need to Know, presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons. Darrell Johnson, owner and captain at Far Corners Express Fishing Charters. If you're not familiar with him, look him up. Darrell, thanks for taking the time tonight, man. How you doing?
I'm living the dream.
Yeah, you are. Let's talk a little bit about this spring so far. Weather windows of opportunity, and the ability to even get out on the water. What have you kind of, taken in this spring? What's it done for you?
Is it spring yet?
On the calendar, apparently they tell us it is, right?
So let's like. I don't know. Some of the old timers say this is what spring used to be like.
Okay.
Like, okay. Well, we don't like it.
No, we do not.
It's been, arduous. Mm-hmm. The ocean has not been our friend this spring. So we've had way more cancellations than we've had days we were able to fish. And so, we've got a bunch more halibut dates due to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully in June, when we'll be wearing T-shirts.
Well, Darrell, this is Bill. How you doing?
Bill, great. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, it's always good. Every day that I hear from myself is always good. But I know the weather's been really crappy. But when you've been getting out, how has the fishing been? How the bottom fishing, lingcod, how's it been when you can get out?
So tomorrow we're going to go offshore lingcod fishing for the next, it looks like 4 or 5 days. We got good weather. And the fishing has been exceptional when we can get out there. Wow. And, big dragon dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Lingcod,
eating tubes.
And they're hungry.
Yeah, they are. Hey, you got those deep water days on those lingcod, and kind of what's your program, Darrell? You a live bait guy? You go catch flounder first, and then go after them, or you fishing artificials? Okay.
We love the flounders because it doesn't wear out our clients.
Right.
And you drop down one of those, we call them Hershey bars.
Okay.
And you reel it up off the bottom, and it struggles to find the bottom, and something comes up and swallows it, whether it's a halibut or a lingcod or big bocaccio or carry. Everything loves those things.
When you say wear out your clients, you're referring to if you're out there dropping pipe jigs or jigging all day and just up and down, constantly working lead or something, right? Okay. Yeah.
Well, the amount of weight, how much weight do you really need to fish out there in deep water? And you got to be using electric reels, right? And that's super kind of depth.
We make our people work for it.
Attaboy.
I love it. Yeah. How much weight does it take to get those down there?
It depends on currents.
Yeah.
Anywhere from, we're fishing deep water lings. We're fishing anywhere from 400 to 600 feet.
Okay.
And same as halibut, even up to 750, 800.
Right.
And, you get an occasional black cod here and there, which is a nice bonus.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But anywhere from a pound to 3.
Sure.
It just depends on currents and wind and... You know,
we got those extra June dates, the 28th and 30th for Area 2 out there with you. So
we've got 6 to 8 days left in halibut, guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah. You got those filled yet, or you got openings on those?
We still have a couple of spots open on some of those days.
How do people get a hold of you to book those halibut days with you before they disappear?
WATuna.com.
WATuna.com. Yep. Okay.
That's the easiest thing. Just send us a email or call the number.
What's been about the average size of halibut you've been getting into this season? Pretty good?
Oh, they've been all over the board. Some days they're kind of on the small side. Our biggest one so far this year was right at 50 pounds. You know, being a smaller 6-pack charter, we can be a little more selective and release fish.
Yeah.
So we like those, 35 pounders if the ocean is willing to give those up. Some days we have to settle for the 25-ish range, but the later we get in the year, the bigger the fish get.
Right.
We're seeing that right now with the lingcod. The lingcod are coming up out of the deep, and every day they're getting bigger and bigger.
Nice. Yeah, Darrell, I love the Jurassic fishing, the halibut, the big ones. But hey, man, salmon season. Just
around the corner,
my friend.
buddy.
Yeah, we've got a July 2nd opener coming 7 days a week.
We're
2 fish limit.
Excited for this.
What are you finding out there? We talked to the local game warden who said he's talked to some of the commercial trollers out there, and he says there are salmon everywhere. What have you seen?
Commercial fishing for salmon has been unreal.
How about that?
And there is coho already, and it's June.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic. I mean, when do you usually
uncharacteristic?
When do you usually start seeing coho?
We don't see coho until mid-July. They start trickling in.
Right.
So normally we tell our clients, the season normally starts end of June, early July, and we're like, there's no coho around that time of year. So we do either a combo of rockfish or Dungeness crab and salmon. You get your one king, and then we go target either crab or rockfish.
Well, Darrell, we've been saying here that early means a lot. Usually when it talks to salmon fishing or steel, whatever, when you see fish early, that means, holy smokes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So we had the best season we've seen in a decade, maybe last year.
Yeah.
And this year, our Chinook predictions approximately the same as last year. Our coho prediction is triple.
Oh, man. Let's talk about that a little bit, Darrell. You and I kind of talked a little back and forth on that the other day. Here's a season that may be unprecedented that we have not seen in quite some time, with forecasts of more than 200,000 more coho than we experienced last year. And as you just mentioned, last year, especially with the coho, it was lights out fishing. So would this not be a great opportunity for WDFW to perhaps exercise the regulation of allowing charters and recreational folks go out, get your 2 fish and get off the water versus filtering through all those wild fish, catch and release, high mortality rate on those released fish, simply to find our hatchery fish?
Would have been a great opportunity to do a test, kind of see, like we talked before, I wish they would send some liaisons out on some of these charter boats just to see what's really going on in the real world.
Right.
I think it would really shock them to see how many fish die in release. Coho is so delicate. They're so delicate around the ocean.
Yeah. It's all about impacts, right?
Yeah.
And the less we can impact these fish, the better off they are. The more fish we can put on the gravel, the better we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The less impacts, the better. And if we keep our first 2 fish, it's way less impact than, some days we're releasing 40 on a 6-passenger boat.
Yes.
Wow. We're releasing 40 fish.
Yeah. And now we're going to be open 7 days a week. On just a lights out fishing opportunity. The numbers of fish that are returning are so incredible. It's going to draw folks back to the ocean that maybe have not perhaps fished in a couple of years. Yeah. We're going to see more pressure, recreational fleet. Charters are going to be booking multiple trips a day in some regards, some in the fleet, and we're going to see a lot of pressure out there. And all those boats and all those rods catching and releasing wild fish to simply retain your hatchery fish. That is
Don't confuse those wild fish with unclipped.
Correct. Yeah, unclipped. Right. We'll call them unclipped. So the impact is going to be significant to the catch and release mortality. I have no doubt.
Absolutely.
So, hey, again, so folks get a hold of you either to book salmon trips that will be coming up after July 2nd in Area 2, out there in the ocean with you, get in on some of these halibut dates and deepwater lingcod. Website and phone number real quick before we get out of here.
Okay, website is watuna.com.
Right.
If you want to call 253-606-5754, Mary will take care of you. And we do river trips. We've got 3 guides that run river trips. And through December and even steelhead fishing, I'm kind of going to retire this year from steelhead. I'm done with it.
Okay.
Guiding.
Yeah. Well, after last year,
you're going to keep fishing for steelhead, though.
Enough.
Yes.
Right? You're going to keep fishing for them.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Just going to stop guiding because they won't give you a season anyway. So that's a good plan.
Yeah. I got slapped in the face this year. I got my drift boat and raft up to Forks and camp set up, and they shut us down.
Shut it down on you. Yeah.
We're having a great.
$6 a gallon. And to tow a trailer and a raft and a boat. And
Yep.
Not fun anymore.
No, we'll just go recreational fish. How's that sound?
We'll concentrate on the salmon. And we're smiling so hard right now, man. If we were wearing lipstick, it'd be on our ears.
I cannot wait for salmon season this
It's going to be fantastic.
You betcha.
Well, hey, we'll stay in touch. Dale Johnson, owner and captain of Far Corners Express Sports Fishing Charters. Always a pleasure to get you on the show, my friend. And, be safe out there.
All righty. Pray for tuna.
You got it. Yep. That'll be the next conversation, bud. So,
all righty. Thanks.
You bet. Have a good night.
That's a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Right?
Pray for tuna?
That's a bumper sticker.
Pray for tuna.
T-shirt.
Tommy would agree with that. Tommy's been praying for tuna since he was 2 years old.
Well, I'm praying for steelhead, and somebody answered my prayers, baby.
This is true. Your prayers are coming true. So, all right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. You got questions or want to link up with Darrell? Just give us a message here on the old text deal, and or hit us up Facebook Messenger or even on YouTube. We can accommodate that. So jump out for a couple minute break. Bill, when we come back, we're going to have a conversation about what's going on up north.
Well,
got some interesting opportunity, both salmon and steelhead, Chinook and summer run steelhead in the same river at the same time. Some changes in management philosophies and what's going on with those runs. A little perplexing for a few, but in some regards, some of this actually makes sense. So, want to know what we're talking about? Stick around. We'll be back after this break right here at Fish on Northwest.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Dwayne England and Bill Herzog. Here we are in Studio William, live as always. Yes. Actually a good number of questions coming in here tonight that we got to pay attention to. Jake is asking, do I tend to stick with soft plastics for summers or more bait? So, kind of depends for me, and Bill, you can answer, but for me, it's all based on conditions. Like we were talking about earlier, we have a lot more water volume right now, so, you know, multiple presentations is at your disposal, and where it's conducive to do so. If it's not raging too fast and we can get the divers down and whatnot, I will go with coon shrimp over plugs just because of years of finding success.
The water is calmer. Right. It's deeper. Yes. And the fish have more time to analyze it.
And the visibility.
Yeah, and bait seals the deal. Whereas you got a fish on a plastic worm and jig the other day. I did. But again, that water was shallower, moving faster. The fish don't have time to take it or it's gone kind of reaction. Yep. So when they have that, a plastic or an artificial works just as good as any kind of bait would. But
and right now with the volume of water, you know, if I'm presenting a 1/8 ounce jig, or I take a jig head and I'll put on a 4-inch worm right now for summer run fish. Hey, their mouth is as big as a winter run fish on a 10-pound fish, right? So with the water levels and the clarity, now if we're talking 450 on our flow versus 700 or 900, and clarity of gin versus some nice soft green.
Vodka, I hate gin.
I'm going to probably go with that smaller jig presentation and colors that are conducive for clear water. Do we have full sun? Do we have clouds? That's going to be my determining factor. With the conditions we have as of late, I'm going to put that worm on that jig head and fish that all day long because I feel confident that it's not going to push them away. It's going to draw them in from a distance away.
And the water you're fishing is 3 to 6 feet deep.
Right.
And moving.
Yes. Yeah.
And moving.
Yeah. We got another question here. Somebody was asking, and I think I lost it, but they're asking what size swivel. Question for Bill. Oh, Michael Fry. What size barrel swivel are you using for your spoons?
A number 5, Michael. I use it on top. Yep. Here's how I set them up. I'll put a number 5 swivel on top on a number 5 split ring. Yep. Then the spoon body, number 5 split ring on the bottom, and then another number 5 swivel on the bottom, and then I'll hang my 1/0 Siwash off of that. Right. And what that swivel does, I learned this from commercial fishermen years ago, that it'll allow that hook to turn and automatically lock in the corner of the fish's mouth. You miss very, very few bites that way.
Yeah, because if you just simply take that Siwash hook and crimp it onto your split ring,
it'll face up.
It'll work.
I caught thousands of fish doing that. But if you can make that thing turn in a cam action so it finds purchase, you're going to have a lot better, more success.
So great opportunity right now up on the Skykomish River. Talked to a couple buddies this last week. Spoke with Spoke with Todd Daniels, Tall Tales Guide Service, and Matt Chandler, Get Hooked, Northwest Guide Service. And those guys are putting time in on the water and kind of fish in different areas, but interesting dynamics right now when it comes to Skykomish. First of all, historically, and Bill, we used to talk about this back in the day, right? On radio, and we would talk to those guys, and I've gone up there numerous times and fished with buddies up there for Chinook and summer steelhead, summer run steelhead at the same time. And techniques are similar, same in certain areas, but again, depends on water, volume, clarity, flow, speed, all those things matter. Right now, higher than normal conditions. I don't know if you remember this or not. Skykomish is a pretty good sized river.
Yeah,
I'd refer to it as like the North Cowlitz. I mean, it's equal size, right?
Yeah,
So, and it's always going to run a little bit green because of where it comes from. That being said, normal flows, you know, a lot of the guys have gone from side drifting to bobber dogging. I mean, they're taking clients out. They're bobber dogging bait. Light leads, barely bouncing bottom. They're fishing the deeper holes in the pools for the Chinook, obviously, and then you're fishing the riffle water in the edges and the holding water that's conducive, a little shallower for your steelhead.
Okay, now let's run that to this year.
Yeah.
That water overlaps now, so you're finding steelhead, and Chinook, and because of the lighting,
mutual housing.
Yeah, they're
the general population,
right? Great. They'll be laying in almost the same water now,
right?
Because Chinook normally need deeper water to hide their bodies.
Yeah.
When you've got more flow and more color, it doesn't take very much for them to feel secure.
Correct.
So they'll lay in the same water that a summer run. They'll lay side by side right now.
Yeah. The interesting thing is with higher flows, just like we see in our fall and winter fisheries, when we have water that's up, fish feel safe, especially the daytime and a little color in the water, and there's plenty of volume. What are they doing? They're not just sitting idle, man. They're moving.
Moving in group.
So talking with Todd, he's finding most of his steelhead up higher in the system, which makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to the hatchery.
Most of those Chinook are going to be down lower, holding in the deeper holes, and just kind of, but now with this rise in water, the Chinook will get on the move too. But typically right now, in this last week before this current rain that we're seeing, those steelhead are going to be upriver, and you're going to look for that steelhead looking water. You're going to fish, as we express, those riffles, those runs, those areas that are conducive, shallower water, not so much flow. Steelhead are lazy. You're going to find them in there. Bobber dogging, eggs. And the other interesting thing is you approach this river targeting both Chinook and coho. Excuse me, Chinook and steelhead. Yeah. You want to have multiple bait options with you. Something with a little hotter cure to it on some of your eggs, right? Something with a little more sulfite base.
For the kings.
For the kings.
Right.
You're talking about steelhead, probably want something a little bit sweeter. Something, you know, it could be the same color. Believe it or not, those fish can decipher between sweetness and sulfites. And so if you're running through those deeper edges, those deeper pools, want to entice those Chinook, you're going to throw something out there with a little hotter bait, a little more sulfite.
Sure.
Get up in those upper stretches. If I'm throwing bait, I'm going to go ahead and put something out there with a little sweeter, a little more sugar.
You have to remember, too, these Chinook are really snappy.
They are.
They're amazing biters when they first come in like that in that higher water, and they're moving. They have not been hammered on. They're fresh fish.
Yep.
They'll bite really darn near anything that looks good, but they'll take the hotter cure, sure.
So what is going on as it pertains to the dynamics of this fishery and these fish, hatchery or non-clipped? What are they doing managing these fisheries and the changes that have come about? Well, let's talk about the steelhead. First of all, a couple years ago, they had a cease and desist order of no more planting Skamania strain steelhead. This is one of those watersheds where they've recognized that, hey, the future is broodstock of wild strain because, well, there's a lot of reasons for it. Now, at first out the gate, it's a big punch in the arm. It sucks. It's like, man, our hatchery program's gone. We no longer get to go after these fish we've been accustomed to going after for 50 years, and now they're just going to quit planting them. So as we transition to a broodstock program based off of the wild genetics within system, within basin, it takes time to build that. Your return rate of fish is only as good as, well, what the ocean and Mother Nature is allowing, and we know the last couple of years it's been pretty poor.
Been horrible.
So the egg take for broodstocking on this program has been a little lackluster. Slowly building.
In arrears.
They figure it's going to be a 5 or 6 year turnaround to really bolster a decent return.
And that's best case scenario.
Yeah, that's best case scenario.
Right, okay.
Now, ideally, much like we've experienced down in Oregon, go down there and fish with Buddy Kyle Bushelman, have exposed what these broodstock programs do.
We saw that in the salt duck up here too.
Absolutely, for years, right? Until they moved it. You know, you get a certain amount of fish above escapement needs on your wild component. Now you can start taking these broodstock hatchery fish and clipping them, allowing for recreational take. That's the goal. You're replacing your hatchery stock with an in-basin genetic strain of fish that doesn't compete but is alongside of. What happens? You get a couple strays of these marked fish. We get to that point where we're marking fish. A couple of those strays don't go back to the hatchery. They actually spawn in the gravel with the natural fish. Guess what? No big deal.
Same genetics.
Doesn't matter.
Bring it on.
Right?
Bring it on.
The conflict has been, and the wild fish groups have filed lawsuits, and all the things we've gone through the last 5, 6, 8 years has come to this, right? And we've been advocating for brood stocking for a number of years. And if we have certain river systems where they're going to implement these changes, and this is the goal, as long as it moves forward, we're successful in brood stocking, getting egg take, and we can look down the road to say, hey, we have enough fish now, we're going to mark a certain percentage of these fish.
Sure.
So that we do have a reason, you know, for persons to come and enjoy and be able to target these fish. You have your catch and release component, you have your retention component, it's a brood stock program. It's going good. This is what we want.
Absolutely.
What's happening on the Chinook front? Well, part of the Orca Task Force was, you know, hey, we're supposed to see 50 million more fish getting planted throughout the Puget Sound region. Skykomish system is one of those rivers that is receiving a bump in finances and fish that are going into the system.
I believe it's the Stilligwamish, the Snohomish,
yes.
The Snohomish system in general with the Stilligwamish also.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. 4 to 4.5 million. I forget the exact number Todd told me. Maybe it's 4.3. Anyway, in excess of 4 million.
And then these are summer Chinook, right?
Well, he gave me a number, and I guess I would have to break that down more. But the long and short of it is the forecast for this year returning collectively for the Skykomish system in overall is 9 to 11,000 Chinook. Okay. If we have any rivers down here in this region that have 9 to 11,000 Chinook, you know, returning, people would be, you know, extremely excited. I hear those numbers like that, and I'm like, man, are you kidding me? What an opportunity. Now, is that just a summer Chinook program, or, you know, these early fall fish, or is it going to be later into the season? Is it all inclusive? If it's all inclusive, great. We got Chinook returning from June to November, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, front edge of November. That is a lot of months, 5 months of Chinook opportunity in the Skykomish system. I mean, that is fantastic. So, you know, we have talked about it for years. We've recognized these programs that are to be implemented. We've, you know, sat there and listened to, oh, what's coming out of Inslee's, you know, Orca Task Force? Is it going to be positive? Well, we have Chinook being released in parts of Puget Sound out of net pens. We have Chinook increases in certain basins and rivers and tributary hatchery programs. And now we're going to start seeing the return on some of these fish that were planted a few years ago. It's time for a few of these fish to start coming back.
And if you start catching beautiful, bright, hatchery, summer Chinook, it kind of takes the sting off the steelhead a little bit until we get that going again. That's a nice filler.
It does. You know? It does. And we have a number of these systems that are going to be, you know, bumped over the next several years.
Outstanding.
I hope that's the direction we continue to go. I've been on board. Tommy's been on board. Yep, let's feed the orcas. Absolutely, let's feed the orcas. But, you know, they look at fish with an extra adipose. They don't really like those. So let's make sure we mark a lot of these fish and then put them out there so the orcas eat all them, you know, hatchery fish, because that's really what it's all about. It's about the orcas, right? So anyway,
nudge, nudge, know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, we'll rely on some of these guys that continue to fish those systems to see how they perform. We'll keep tabs on what's going on up there, but I'm excited about some of the changes coming about. And so far, like according to Todd, he has said, hey man, this is some of the better steelhead fish in the upper stretches he has seen in a few years.
And does this sound familiar?
It's a very familiar thing.
It's not just one place, it's a dozen.
Yeah.
Right?
And as you mentioned at the start of the show, Oregon is receiving kind of the same return in some regards on some of their systems right now.
I got guys down there who are PMing me on Facebook saying, Bill, you got to come down.
Yeah.
Because last year we couldn't catch a steelhead. The year before that, very few. And the year before that, very. This year, they're everywhere and they're bigger. Look at the ones we've been running into. They are just magnificent.
Very healthy. Big bellies on them, stuff full. You got
to make me settle down now because I'm start talking about summer runs and I'm going to go crazy.
Hey, Paul Vesey is asking, how's fishing on the Willapa for spring kings? For those that didn't know, I received an email and I just was kind of like, I don't know if we have time to talk about this or not.
That's crazy.
And I forget the exact date, but there is a one-day opportunity for spring Chinook on the Willapa River. I don't have the date, but just the fact that they had fired off an email to say, hey, ample return opportunity, spring Chinook opportunity on the Willapa River. Again, part of the Orca Task Force plan. If you think about this, which completely makes sense, and we're on board. You know, last check with the hatchery modifications they've done on the Puyallup system, we have opportunities there. They're going to be releasing 900,000 springers up there. I mean, some of these numbers are a mind blow. The interesting thing is, and it makes sense, look, orcas don't just feed in the fall and winter. You know, historically, before we screwed everything up, we had spring Chinook out of a number of these rivers throughout the Puget Sound region and south of here, right?
Sure, and there were lots of them in Puget Sound way back when.
And so these orcas were feeding on Chinook in the Puget Sound region almost year round because of run timing.
Sure.
Right? Summer kings.
Well, look at the blackmouth fishing we used to have in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, very
So, yeah, when Paul puts that out there, Willapa River and Spring Chinook in the same sentence, absolutely. It's kind of a mind blow, but I can't wait to see what the future holds in that regard. Just another opportunity, along with a lot of the other ones we mentioned, man. You know, I'm getting pretty darn excited about a lot of this stuff I'm reading and things happening and ocean conditions. And the more we talk about this, and then of course, you know, with social media, we see persons' success out there on the water, whether it's on Puget Sound, on the ocean, or in the rivers.
Wherever, it's everywhere.
It's fantastic.
Now, isn't this the most wonderful thing? Because of the big bag that we had to eat of garbage that we had to eat all winter long. And after we sat there and it just, it's so bummed out. And we get all this wonderful opportunity after that.
Pretty exciting.
Well, we bloody deserve it, man.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Going to turn the corner here. Weather's going to improve. Fishing opportunities abound. I just can't even wait to get the boat back on the lake here and see what our kokanee are doing. Haven't even hardly talked kokanee this year because it's been so doggone cold. By this time last year, we were roping them in out here, man. They were big fatties, 14, 15-inch kokanee, and doing fantastic. I tend to believe they're out there. I just need to get past this cold weather and get out there and get them.
I know on the east side, the kokanee fishing's been really
Lights
good.
out.
Yes,
Big fish, too.
Another great year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, don't go anywhere. We got a prize pack to give away, a few announcements of some ongoing events coming up that you're going to want to pay attention to. Lots of good stuff happening here in the Northwest. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back in a couple minutes after this break right here at Fish on Northwest. Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, no, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest here as we wind down and close out the show. Some good questions coming up here, Bill. Shane Vanderlinde was making a comment. Hey, when you taught me to spoonfish, you were using a 2/0 hook. Now you've gone to a 1/0. What's the deal?
Well, every company's sizes are objective, right?
Right.
And the 2/0 that I used to use is almost the exact same size as the 1/0 I'm using now.
Right.
So it's the same size hook. I go by how it looks. Whoever size the manufacturer says, it doesn't mean anything to me. I make it match the size of the spoon.
Yeah, that's probably best case scenario there.
Yeah.
Michael Fry was making a mention of the fact that he seems to be catching a lot more fish in that area 13, bottom end of 11, but as he's truly in area 13, possibly secondary to the amount of net pen fish that I had mentioned earlier, released for the Okra program. Now, you got to understand, some of these fish are released in river, hatchery boosted program. Some of them are net pen raised and released. They don't really have an exact return location imparted in their head, right?
Know kind of where to go.
General idea. And the thing is, when I talk to persons who are overseeing this program, they're not really concerned about strays because they pulled genetic strain from, say, Puyallup-based fish or Nisqually-based fish, which we all know pretty much the same when they screwed it all up back in the day with the Green River strain of Chinook in Puget Sound. So strays are not an issue. And some of these fish will just mill around out there in Puget Sound for a while. And I think we're starting to see a little bump in that regard. Some of these fish coming back have just been simply put out there for, orca feeding.
And apparently too many of them.
Well, it helps us out for sure. Hey, CCA, we're going to get to this price pack here in a little bit, but CCA is hosting their 9th annual Pete Floor Memorial Wenatchee Salmon Derby. Okay, Coastal Conservation is proud to announce the 9th annual Pete Floor Memorial Wenatchee Salmon Derby is returning to the shores of the Columbia River July 15th and 16th of this year. We encourage all anglers, all ages and skill levels to participate in this amazing conservation event. CCA of Washington. This year's Derby features over $7,500 in cash prizes, in addition to exciting raffles and more. For more information and purchase of tickets, Bill, simply go to WenatcheeSalmonDerby.com. 9th annual gets a pretty good turnout. Lots of folks showing up to participate in that. Hey, something else that's going on, and you are going to be part of. We as well here at Fish on Northwest are going to be part of. It is the first annual. Larry Stamp, he's been on the show before. Rods and Reels in Need, fantastic gentleman. He does so much for persons in need of fishing gear, and especially kids, right? Really does an amazing job collecting all this gear, getting it out to people. He drives for hours to go deliver fishing gear to a mom and some kids. I mean, the stories this guy has is a mind blow. It's hold back the tears when he starts talking, because it really is heartwarming what he's doing. Lots of effort. Well, he decided to put together a fishing expo. Okay, all on his own, and he's been building this thing. And let me tell you, he's got persons coming out in support of this. Beautiful thing, it's going to be right here in Thurston County, right? Just down the street from us here at the Fish on Northwest Studios. So Rods and Reels in Need presents the first annual 2022 Fish Expo, Saturday, June 18th at the Thurston County Fairgrounds in Olympia. Don't know where it is. Pull it up on your maps and get in your car and get there. 10 a.m., the gates open. Admission is $5, and kids 12 and under are free. And there is a lot of things going on. Lots of different vendors are going to be there. It's got boats on display. It's going to have food trucks, trout pond for the kids, tackle, rods, reels, gear. Fish on Northwest is going to be there. We're setting up a booth. We'll be selling a ton of our clothing items, a lot of our swag, hats, all kinds of stuff. Pretty much what we do at the sportsman shows anyway. What's really nice, we're going to be here in Thurston County in our backyard. So all our local folks can come on out there and say hi. Come check out our booth, check out our clothing items. Shing does an amazing job. You are going to be there doing a presentation.
I'm going to be talking about trout jigging. something I've been loving.
Yeah, you've been killing it with trout jigging. Yes,
I've been tying my own jigs and doing all this fun stuff. I'm going to talk about how to fish rivers, mostly how to fish lakes, but it's a one-stop do-all kind of thing that anybody can really do.
Right.
It's easy to do. It's a one knot and let's rock kind of a thing, right?
One knot, let's rock.
And here when I'm going to do my little seminar, while I'm there, the first person that comes up to me and tells me who my favorite rock band of all time is, gets 6 beautiful hand-tied jigs by me. First person that comes up and asks me that question.
Favorite rock band of all time.
Oh, that's right.
If you've been following Herzog long enough, you will know the answer to this question. I could throw that out there right now. Do I get the jigs, or are you just going to hand me some of those?
You probably get some anyway. So
yeah, probably. Yeah.
And I'll be at your booth. The show's booth most of the
Yes, you will. You'll be hanging out?
Yeah, I'll be hanging out. Come by and say hi.
Signing autographs and the whole deal. Yeah, we got tons of stuff to sell. Love to see people walking away with our FHN swag. And like I said, Shing's got tons of it. You will be there putting on the seminar, maybe twice for people that get there early and then later on the afternoon.
And if you come ask me questions, I'll just keep it going all day long.
Yeah, we'll just keep talking.
Questions, I'm there all day long.
Yep, trout jigging. You got it. Yeah. So lots of twisted sister. Yeah, you got it. Justin Martin says he'll be there, possibly nude. That is something we don't want to see. And then other folks are excited about the beer garden. So it's we're reining it in here. Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh, Shing says Justin Martin. Of course you will. Doesn't surprise us. So all right, time to give a prize pack giveaway. This is a Fish on Northwest Max lure. Huge contributor on this. Trout and kokanee lures and all types of, got some Dodgers in there. Pautzke corn. Got some FHN swag and decals. Pretty nice price pack. Got a bait rag. Yes, absolutely. This is for the first person on our chat here that is going to chime in with the number. That's just simply how we do it here. Pick a number between 1 and 200. Already told Herzog what the number is. Got it written down here on the sheet. 1 and 200. Number between 1 and 200. Bill, the first person that throws that up there.
Or gets closest.
No.
Right?
No, they're going to nail it.
What if nobody gets it?
Oh, yeah. Shane Vanderlyn put 777. Apparently, he went to public school and cannot count.
Or he gambles a lot.
Yeah, so he triple sevens. Oh, man, this is flying here. We're trying to keep up. Yeah, so, yep. Nothing yet. No. Don't see it. Keep it going. Keep it going. And no, Riley, nice, but he's loading it up there. Keep it going. This may be a tough one because usually I go between 1 and 100, but tonight it's between 1 and 200.
That is way too nice a bucket of swag.
Yeah. Moving on here. Moving on. Somebody put 201.
That's my favorite reel.
Oh, yes, it is. Matter of fact, that would have been a good number, but we said between 1 and 200. So. Still going, haven't seen it. Looking at them both, so people don't have to worry about if we're able to see them all, because I'm monitoring both channels here as we move. Nothing yet. Keep it going. Nope. Oh, come on, somebody. Yep. Nope. Anything?
Should I just whistle the tune to Jeopardy? Theme song to Jeopardy?
Well, we're getting about there. I didn't think it would be this complicated. People usually get it pretty darn fast. And got nothing so far, huh, George? Keep it going, folks. They ain't got it yet. This may take all night. We might be here literally all night long.
Lionel Richie.
All right, they're still going for it. Okay. Yep. Yeah, not seeing it. Okay.
I guess I got to do 5 minutes of stand-up here while we're waiting.
Yeah, you got a story you want to tell? I mean, this is getting, this is painful. This is absolutely painful. You know, I saw 102 and that was close. Let me put that out there. I saw 102 and that was close, right?
Close, yeah.
So I'll throw that one out there. I'll at least give that a little bit of a clue because this is painful. This has become painful at this point. So, what's the question? What's the number between 1 and 200?
This is riveting.
And 102
TV,
was close. And 104, Zach. Zach got it. Yep.
Way to go, Zach.
Yes, Zach got it. Carl also hit 104, but
I'm sorry, Carl.
Zach was the first one to hit 104, I believe. Let me look. Yep.
Yeah.
Is it Kogut? Yep, Zach Kogut was the first one to hit 104. Had a number of folks get on there, but Zach was definitely, Jay, right behind Zach. Sorry, buddy.
Jay.
All right, Zach, hey, message is up here, either Facebook or via Messenger there on YouTube. I see you're watching on YouTube. So, Zach, give us a phone number and/or means of contacting you, and we will get this price back on its way here within this next week. Thanks for playing. So, all right, Bill, any final words, any final thoughts?
Well, my final thought is, by golly, go fishing.
Yeah.
We're experiencing water conditions and fish runs and opportunities right now that I honestly cannot remember since the 80s.
Yes,
and
I would agree.
It's just been spectacular. And you get out there, if you've got lawn to mow, it can wait. Anything can wait. Get out there, take the kids, just get out there and go fish, guys.
The weather,
that's the advantage of this.
Once this rain's done, I think we're finally, as we talked with Darrell earlier, we're going to get into some weather that's going to be dialed. Whether you're going to be on Puget Sound and some of the areas that give you an option. We still got some shrimping dates out of Hood's Canal coming up here. We have plenty of lakes that are open and starting to warm up and really crank up on our trout and kokanee fishing. As also we have walleye opportunity on the east side is starting to heat up.
Yes,
we get starting to get that bump in temperature, especially on the east side. And so we need that 60 degrees in a lot of these bodies of water for them walleye to get real active, and that is starting to happen as well. So lots of opportunity. Love this time of year. So much to do. What do you always say? Frozen with indecision.
Frozen with indecision. That's what I'm talking about. I got 2 words for you. Summer Run Steelhead.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 words.
That's
Summer Run Steelhead. Hey, thanks for hanging out tonight, bud. Good
my pleasure.
Times as always.
I love being here, bro.
It cost me a bag of eggs, but I was willing to do it. Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Bag of eggs.
Well worth the price. All right. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Hope we enlightened you with a few things. Had a blast, of course, as we do each and every week. Be sure to visit us on our Facebook page. Follow us, please, if you have not. Like our page. Jump over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Help us build those numbers. And check out our webpage. And go to our store, buy some swag. Keep this thing going before the wheels fall off.
Get one of these sweatshirts right here.
There you go.
Amazing.
The swag is amazing. All right, have a great week. We'll see you here next Thursday, live as always, 6 p.m. from the studios right here, Fish on Northwest. Have a good night.